You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Testing on animals has been practiced since the 1880s, and although most of the methods have become much more humane as PETA and other organizations have stepped in, animals are still being used to test consumer cosmetics products on. It is not legally required to test cosmetics on animals, but the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, urges cosmetics manufacturers to conduct whatever tests are necessary to establish that their cosmetics are safe. They do not, however, specify what animal or specifically mandate animal testing for cosmetic safety. The term testing for cosmetics on animals includes putting substances in their eyes to check irritancy, tissue damage, and toxicity, and having them ingest fumes, such as perfume, to check the LD, the lethal dosage of a product that will kill an animal of a product. My proposition is that the U.S.'s continued participation in testing cosmetics on animals is unnecessary. My three supporting claims are that 1. New methods have been discovered that can replace the role of animals. 2. Testing cosmetics on animals is extremely expensive. And 3. The animals used for testing cosmetics are built differently than humans, which most often leads to useless test results. My first supporting claim is that new methods have been discovered that can replace the use of animals when testing cosmetics. The National Toxicology Program has proven that EpiSkin, Epiderm, and Skin Ethics are all scientifically validated multi-layered skin models that test for skin irritation and that are made up of human skin cells. This can replace the role of rabbits and rodents in testing of cosmetics, but some companies still prefer to use animals. MB Research Laboratories has been employing the 3T3 neutral red uptake phototoxicity test that replaces guinea pigs in the laboratories by testing the effects of light on the chemicals on human skin. Other methods include the use of cell and skin tissue cultures, corneas from eye banks, and computer and mathematical models. Now that you know why animals aren't needed scientifically, my second supporting claim is that testing cosmetics on animals is extremely expensive. In the U.S., the number of rats and mice used is estimated at 20 million a year. Animal testing costs the American public over $136 billion annually, or $300 a year per family. These costs would be greatly reduced if animals were no longer being used, as we would no longer need to pay for the food, the water, and everything else needed to take care of them. My third and last supporting claim is that the animals used for testing cosmetics are built differently than humans, which leads to useless test results. For example, there is a test called the DRAISE test. Doris Lynn, an animal rights attorney with a BS in Applied Biological Sciences from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, states that the DRAISE test is an eye or skin irritancy test that involves putting a substance in the eye or on the skin of an immobilized rabbit. Rabbits are used for these tests because of the low amount of tears produced by their eyes, so it doesn't wash out as quickly. But Mitchell A. Watsky from the Medical College of Wisconsin did a comparative study on the differences between a human eye and a rabbit eye. And he found that the surface area ratio of conjunctiva to cornea is to be 2 times larger in humans than in rabbits. He stated that this large difference may affect the applicability of drug data obtained using rabbit models and should be taken into consideration in topical drug development and future comparative drug penetration studies between rabbit and man. When asked if they agreed that animal experiments can be misleading because of anatomical and physiological differences between humans and animals, 88% of doctors agreed. According to the former scientific executive of Huntington Life Sciences, animal tests and human results agree only 5 to 25% of the time. Robin Flynn, a member of PETA and PCRM, has found that 95% of drugs passed by animal tests are immediately discarded as useless or dangerous to humans, and those products are recalled. Now that you understand the implications of all that I've said, I hope you will agree that testing cosmetics on animals is no longer necessary today because of the new scientific methods, how expensive it is, and how we have learned that the different anatomy of animals tends to make the test useless.
All right, the proposition's very clear. You've got a good preview. The structure is signposted all the way through the speech, so it's easy to follow and listen to. The first point is where you develop most of this significant part of your argument. You've got a lot of examples of the alternative tests. I don't get any source citations on those. The second part of the argument, there's some data I don't get any source citations on. You've got one statistic about, or one number about the number of animals that are used, in particular rats, but it doesn't specify that they're used for cosmetic research, which is what you're focusing on. The cost estimate was a little unclear. Did you say 136 million or 136 billion? If it's 136 billion, I think we're going to need some factual information on that to break that down, because that's a hell of a lot of animals, you know, and that's a lot more than we spend as a as a population on our pets. It's almost twice what we spend on dogs and cats, I think, combined. So it sounds like it's an awful lot of money, and I'm not sure where the number comes from. On the third point, I think you've got some good criticisms. There's a good qualification of, well, one source, and then a couple of other sources. I'm a little iffy about quoting PETA, especially after some of the earlier speeches that we heard. So I'm not sure that you want to rely on those advocacy groups. It would be better to get some more independent information. Thought it was presented pretty effectively. All right, thank you.